Welcome to the 8th seminar for English teaching professionals, transforming teaching practices in the EFL classroom. Today, we have the honor of hosting Nancy Reeves, a distinguished presenter who recently led an insightful workshop titled Find a Unique Ally in ChatGPT. In this interview, we will summarize the key points from her session and discuss the importance of integrating ChatGPT into the classroom. Nancy Reeves holds a Bachelor of Arts in Literature and Philosophy, a Master of Arts in Spanish from Penn State University, and a Master of Arts in English from the University of Louisiana at Monroe. She has also pursued doctoral studies in research at the University of Leicester and curriculum at the Pan American University, with teaching experience ranging from elementary to university levels across various countries. Nancy specializes in literature, foreign language, technology, and research. Nancy has lectured in the United States, Scotland, South America, and Central America, and has published numerous academic articles. She has designed curricula, advised schools on academic programs, and participated in accreditation processes for various institutions. Her interests include special education, artificial intelligence, and teacher development strategies. Since joining Pearson as a product specialist for Central America in 2017, Nancy has been serving as a pedagogical coach for LATAM. We are excited to explore her insights and the innovative applications of ChatGPT in education. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you so much.
So, Nancy, let's get to it. How can integrating ChatGPT in the classroom revolutionize the way students learn?
Well, first and foremost, we as educators have to provide students with the tools that they're going to need in the future. So incorporating ChatGPT or understanding its function in a real life scenario is important. So the way that we can revolutionize it is by actually being in line with the demands that the students will have in the future. ChatGPT or all the AI tools that we have nowadays are being used in the workforce. So it is important that as professors, as university professors, we teach them and we prep them for real life scenarios.
Right, that's absolutely very important. Now, in what ways does ChatGPT promote inclusivity and accommodate to different learning styles?
Well, as we all know, we all have different learning styles. We can do a multi-model engagement. We can be kinesthetic. We can be auditive. We can, be read writers, and also visual students. So the fact that you can actually obtain different strategies as teachers from ChatGPT, it can help us really target those different like multi-model modules learners, and also the ones that have a strength. We all learn differently. We all combine different strategies. And ChatGPT does provide you with strategies and activities that you can use, because sometimes we cannot really come up with new ideas all the time. It's very difficult. And we have tendencies like, for instance, a kinesthetic person is the most common type of learner, and the least common type of learner is a visual learner, which is actually interesting enough. A lot of people don't know this. So the fact that you can find more information about this, the fact that you can find more resources to incorporate in your classroom will really make sure that your students are participating, are being engaged. And also, of course, we have other type of students that do require some sort of accommodation, and we might not necessarily have the academic tools or the preparation to work with them.
All right. Now, what are some examples of how ChatGPT can help eliminate engagement obstacles in the classroom?
Well, one of the things that, again, we need to speak our students' language. We need to understand what is it that they're using. The fact that you have a student, I actually just had this experience with a couple of students, that they use ChatGPT for their assignment. It's important for me to understand that this is, again, real life. They're using it. We are using it as teachers. Everybody's using it. So it's necessary to teach them how to use it properly, to be open-minded about it. Mostly I think that's a key aspect, to be open-minded about it. And sometimes we're limited with the resources that we have in the class. We're limited also in the sense that libraries are pretty much becoming non-existent. So ChatGPT does provide you with some resources, some material, some research material, and this will help us work with critical thinking skills. Of course, we really need to know how to use it properly, because it's not just a matter of prompts. It's a matter of really doing the second part, which is the most difficult part, which is editing. And that is where we're going to dive into the research skills and the critical thinking aspects, where the students can tropicalize the information and put into practice the new knowledge that they have.
Absolutely. Sounds something we should all know how to use, right? Now, why is it important to utilize AI ethically in education? And how can educators ensure they preserve the human element of teaching while doing so?
Well, let's start with the first question, the second part of the question, which is about teachers. We use pedagogy. Pedagogy is all about the thinking process. It's all about the rational concept. It's all about, problem solving, critical thinking, the creativity aspect of it. So teachers will always there will always be that. They will always preserve the human aspect, because we're the ones that are going to encourage those spaces for creativity. We're going to encourage those conversations for critical thinking, and we're going to be able to teach students how to solve problems easily. Now, what we need to understand, though, is that AI has a role, and we humans have a role. We're going to be the creative entity. AI is actually a tool that helps us facilitate and expedite certain things. So once we understand the role that AI has, and once we understand the role that we have as individuals, then the communication will be better, and the fear will disappear. Because a lot of people have a misconception, oh, AI is going to take my place and everything, but it's not true. It's actually, we need to understand, we need to collaborate with this tool, because this tool, as everybody will be saying and everybody mentions, is here to stay. So the important aspect is to remember that artificial intelligence, it is a tool that can help us target students with diagnosis, target students who have different learning styles, target students that have a different learning path. So once we know that, then we're going to be okay, because we're using it ethically, not to do busy work, not to substitute the thinking process. There are limitations to AI. We input the information in all those generative AI tools. So we need to understand that. Now, the human factor, it's us, the creative entity. We cannot be lazy in that aspect. We have to always be encouraging critical thinking. We always need to be giving the students open-ended questions so they can have a conversation, so they can really reflect upon the information they're receiving. And one of my favorite things, and one of my backgrounds is philosophy, question everything. AI has a limit. We need to question the information. We need to understand the information that the tool is providing, and then we need to put it into practice. AI is not something to be afraid of. AI is kind of like whenever Google came out, kind of whenever the internet came out, and we all had like a big ethical dilemma with it. But once you understand that there's a role and there's a function, then we can appease that, I guess, that concern that we all might have. But we do need to be careful, and we need to understand the roles.
Absolutely. Now, beyond generating prompts, what are some additional steps educators can take to effectively use ChatGPT in their teaching methods?
ChatGPT, of course, is fed by a prompt, but we need to know exactly how to write a proper prompt. If we know, nowadays, actually, there's an application that can write the prompts for you. So there's a new element there that will minimize the amount of work, because now you can actually get prompts from a particular tool. What we need to do, though, is we need to go to the second step, which is the edit part. There's a fantastic book about it, which I'm going to mention in my conference. And it is that review of the information, which what I love about that section, or what people forget, is that we always need to review everything that we read. So ChatGPT will give you something. There are components that we need to discuss. And what you can do with it, you can actually teach students fantastic research skills. ChatGPT requires high literacy levels. It's not an easy tool to use if you know how to use it properly. Not just writing, give me 10 examples of something. That is not a prompt. A prompt has a particular function. You have to give it parameters. You have to give it a role. You have to give very specific instructions. And of course, instructions have to be very direct because artificial intelligence will not take nuances. So once you know that, once you build the proper prompt that requires high literacy skills, then you go to the second part, which is the review part of it. And this is where you need to find authors. This is where you need to see if the information goes in favor of your beliefs. This is where you're going to see that it is a proper tone. This is the proper language that you want to use. And of course, if the information can be tropicalized, if it doesn't include any type of bias, cultural bias in some cases, and then you need to put this information into practice. You have to make it your own. So like a book, you read a book, you read all the information, and it's not you're going to copy and paste and say the same thing because that would be plagiarism, right? So what you do is you read the information of the book, you filter the information, and then you paraphrase it into your own words, understanding, with your understanding of the message. So that is one of the things that we need to do. And I think is one of the options that we have as teachers that AI can give us to really open and broaden our students' skills. Because once again, critical thinking, 21st century skills are crucial nowadays. So critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity are crucial. And what we can do with this is we can really work with critical thinking skills because the students can reflect upon the information and we can actually start teaching them not to believe everything that they read, but to question it.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely a skill every student needs. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on using ChatGPT in the classroom. Your expertise has helped us understand how AI can enhance learning, promote inclusivity, and support new teaching methods. For more information on the topics covered in the seminar, please visit our website. The details are available on the screen.